and Bronkhorst takes it, makes a couple moves, and he's going. He's got some space. He's still on his feet.
You never knew when this day was going to come, but for the first time since 2017, Milan will be without Luke Zaraka, and we have a new quarterback. We have a new quarterback playing for the team in the northwest part of Italy, and we'll see how this new era turns out.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Base Coverage. I'm your host, Jamal Clay. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. Share with a friend. We're also on Spotify now, so if you want to go over there, and if you don't like looking at my face in these podcasts, you can also listen to us as well. So, as I mentioned in the intro, there's a lot of changes going on in the northwest part of Italy for the team in Milan. We're talking about one of the top organizations in Europe before the ELF even started. Came to the ELF last season. Obviously, it didn't go as planned, record-wise, finishing at 2-10. But this is a new era of Milan. Off season kicked off. They parted ways with head coach Stefan Bocconi. Longtime American-Italian quarterback Luke Zaraka, who's been the quarterback there since 2017, is now going to play for Frankfurt in Germany. And now we have a new coach and a new quarterback running the helm over there in Milan. So today we're going to bring in that quarterback. It's his first year over in Europe, so that's always a fun concept. But I wanted to chop it up with him a little bit, introduce him to the ELF media fan base, and get a chance to know him a little bit. So without further ado, I'm bringing in new quarterback of the Milan Seamen, Zach Bronkhorst. Zach, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you, man? Excited to be on finally.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, I'm doing good. I can't complain. But we're in the off season of going into the fourth year of the European League of Football, and usually around this time, or at least the past couple of years, quarterbacks have been usually flying off the board. But it seems like this off season, most people are kind of waiting to see where quarterbacks land. All right, the team you're playing for just signed with the Milano Seamen. You're going to be taking over a position that hasn't necessarily needed to be filled for some time now, right? So You're coming in with a new coach, Coach Jim Ward. We'll talk about him in a second. But before we get into all that, obviously you've watched the league from afar. You've had some type of knowledge on the league. And matter of fact, getting into the league your first year, that's actually a good sign in most places because it's the most competitive league of Europe. But my first question to you is, from the outside looking in, what were your thoughts on the ELF and why you wanted to join?
Well, from the outside looking in, I always knew this is the place to be in Europe. I mean, if you're going to go over to Europe to play American football, this is the stage that you want to do it in. Just because I know how much the league is expanding and putting effort in, both on media and the talent level that they're bringing over. So looking at it from afar, during kind of my year off, I knew this was the spot that if I wanted to come to Europe and compete, this is the place to do it at. Clearly, the best athletes that are in Europe compete in this league, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to come over here and trying to kind of earn my respect and earn a place over here.
I hear you. Hey, so obviously we mentioned before, this is your first time playing in Europe. Have you ever been to Europe?
I have not been to Europe. I almost went to Europe in February. I told you beforehand, but the card just kind of fell through there. But yeah, this will be my first time headed over there. I'm excited that my first destination point is going to be Milan. I really can't complain about that at all. But yeah, first time.
Hey, I'll give you some quick short advice at the end of the show. But obviously you're signing with Milano Seamen, and you're being brought in by a new regime. All right, head coach Coach Ward, who was the defensive coordinator of the Guards last year. Everybody who watches the show know how I feel about the Guards. But so the biggest issue for the team last year, obviously well documented, was defense. They bring in a defensive coordinator, so I already think you guys are getting off to a much better start. When you had those conversations, with Coach Ward about possibly joining Milan, what was, talk a little bit about what sold you on the opportunity to not only just come to Europe for your first time to play, but to play for the Milano Seamen.
Yeah, I know the history of Milano. They were very competitive in the Italian league before moving over to the ELF, one of the top teams in Europe and franchises. They've been around for a long time. And Coach Ward and all the ownership, they all really sold me on the idea of kind of bringing it back to the level that it needs to be at. And this group of players that we're putting together this year and coaching staff is really hopes the group that's going to really put us back on that level that the organization expects to be at. And Coach Ward's a Texas guy, so we're really hitting Texas hard. As we got it running back from Texas too. So I mean, in my humble opinion, if you're going to go American, you got to go to the greatest state in the whole union, which is Texas with football. So,
Ooh,
but
preach, okay.
but no, he just really sold me on the idea of like the seriousness and kind of business side that he takes towards football, and it's very organized and something I can get behind in that side of things. So I'm just excited to see what he can do on the defensive side, and hopefully we can provide some support for him on the O side this year.
Most definitely. Just to get off topic real quick for those who's watching, all right, obviously I always say drop a comment. Drop a comment for where do you think most teams go to America to get talent, whether it's Texas, West Coast, Jersey. There's not a lot of us that go over there, but comment who you think, which state represents America the most over in Europe. But all right, back to the interview. You're joining so offense wasn't really the issue in Milan last year, but obviously they had some struggles. Whenever you go 2-10, you're going to have some struggles. But fifth rated offense, they average about 27 points per game. You're walking into a situation where it was a good offense, but it was surrounded by a lot of young talent. And what I mean by that is you had the, offensive rookie of the year in Ali Khalif, who played running back. And then you had the overall rookie of the year, and who I call my cousin, Juan Calderon Flores, at receiver. Now, have you had the opportunity to chop it up with those guys a little bit and talk some ball? Obviously, you're going to be heading out there late spring or but have you had the opportunity to talk with them a little bit?
We've on social media and like in our team group chat, we've all started kind of talking a little bit, but we haven't really reached out too much yet. Just kind of feeling things out, waiting for this whole free agency signing to kind of end, because there's still some pieces that we're looking to add on the team. But some of the newer guys, me and Patrick Carr chopped it up, and then we just signed a real speedy receiver from the GFL. I don't know if that news is really hit.
Shout out Tommy Wilson.
Tommy Wilson. Yeah, Tommy Wilson. He's gonna be. Yeah, he can. We got some real speed on the team this year, and I know both of the young guys last year really showed out. And I think Ali does a great job both in the run game and the pass game. Like he's kind of a dual threat type of running back, and I'm excited to kind of try and exploit defenses using that. And then it's always nice to have those burners on the outside that you can just throw it deep to and trust them to go and get it. So I'm excited. I'm sure as the season approaches and camp approaches, we'll get more on the talking basis. So, but right now it's just early.
Most definitely. I think watching your film a little bit, you're someone that can create off schedule a lot, but it's ball though. Like you make a lot of plays off schedule, and I think having those guys with that type of talent, and obviously adding someone like Tom Wilson, a speedster who could separate and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not breaking any news here, but depending on the offense you run, those are really good guys. That's a really good number 2, really good number 3. I don't know if they're number 1 receivers, but they're really good number 2, really good number 3s, and will create mismatch matches for you in that offense. You guys went a different route that you're seeing most teams go away from, and that's signing a import American running back. Most teams will go import receiver American, or if you have a really good Euro, you'll go 2 Americans or maybe American running back. But you guys are bringing in Patrick Carr, running back, played at Houston. Talk a little bit about his skill set and what he'll possibly bring to the offense.
Yeah, he's a very powerful runner, really good base. And then he also does really good in the pass game, just getting yak getting upfield and just getting what he can get before
All about that
being
yak. It's all about that yak.
exactly.
About defensive coordinators is that they love running the ball.
Oh
they
yeah,
love running the ball. So I'm assuming, and obviously if Ali Khalifa, if you guys get him back too, there's going to be a good run game approach to your offense. Not saying it's going to be the end all be all, but a good run approach to your offense. Hey, you're playing in arguably the most beautiful conference in terms of destinations. All right. I mean, you're going to be heading to my top 3 favorite city in Barcelona. Obviously, Milan alone is beautiful. I haven't been to Stuttgart. I've been to Innsbruck in terms of like when you'll play the Raiders, which is again another top organization in all of Europe, even before the ELF. You're gonna be traveling to Hungary to play the Anthroners. All right, that's gonna be a first, and then my beautiful Helvetigars in the Switzerland area. So you're gonna be. I don't know if you'll get stamps, but you definitely gotta be building up the experience on the travel aspect of it. At all those places we just named, what's one place you're looking forward to in terms of going to play at?
I mean, obviously, like Barcelona is just like an experience. Like that is like a top destination spot in the whole world. So I'm excited to go and kind of see that culture and experience it. I'm selfishly Milan too. I mean, I don't know if anywhere's going to top it. I mean, that's one of the
beautiful
best
stadium
places.
at night.
Yeah,
beautiful stadium at night. Barcelona, amazing fan base. Probably the best stadium in conference you're gonna play is the Raiders, and you'll see exactly when you get there in terms of the views of the mountains, the snow caps, how it looks into the stadium. That's probably gonna be the best stadium in conference that you'll probably visit. But hey, man, let me give you some advice about Europe. Playing ball in Europe. And I'm not going to go here and preach and go ahead and like give you a laundry list, but some main advice. Obviously, you're brought to Europe they're paying you to play, they're paying you to be a coach, be a good teammate, embrace the organization, all that stuff. And understand that too. Obviously, those are your responsibilities. At the same time, don't lose sight that this experience is not like any other. So when you have the opportunity to try different things, travel around the city, take advantage of it, man, because it is playing overseas is a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful opportunity. A lot of guys that you're going to meet will tell you the exact same thing. So obviously you're there to, play ball, help grow, teach the game, all that stuff. But you're about to embark on an amazing experience. And if I could give you one recommendation in terms of like if you're interested in looking at certain stuff, obviously on my podcast I got here, but I also got another one called The Scoop where we dive into like the import life. Another one that I'm gonna give these guys a shout out. Silas Nasida does beautiful work. He's one of the hosts on ELF Live, and now Nicky Alfieri does also amazing work. If you look at some of their old stuff where they travel, that's going to kind of give you an idea of what the experience is about. So that'd be my advice to you personally. But
I really plan on like trying to just immerse myself in the culture over there in Milan and Italy in general, and like just try to get to know the people. They've already been showing tons of love on social media. I know the fan base is excited to get back into the winning ways that they know. But I just really plan on trying to embrace the culture and not just be a tourist over there, but kind of get to know the locals a little bit, on a different level than most people that are just going over there for maybe a few weeks. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to be over there for months. So I'm just excited to get over there and kind of become a regular over there, So I'm really excited for that opportunity.
You're about to have some of the best Italian food you ever had in your life.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. Yeah.
So before we close this thing out, this is my last question to you. Milan, again, we talked about it. One of the top organizations in Europe, even before the ELF, won a lot of Italian championship titles and a lot of interconference or international titles as well. You're the first quarterback that's been there since 2017. Obviously, they went 2-10 last season. It's a new regime, new head coach. It's a clean slate for everybody. My question to you is, what's your message to your teammates and that fan base, heading into this ELF season?
Yeah, just to go at it with an open mind. Just, last year was last year. We're coming in with a new attitude, new group of players. There's some players from the old team, of course, coming over still, but like it's a different team, new experience. They've been in the ELF now for a year, so they kind of know what to expect competitively. But we got new coaches in here, new Americans, new other Euro imports that are hungry. I know my life motto pretty much is just to try and outwork every single other person that's in front of me. And that's my way about going life in every way. And that's just going to be brought right over there to Italy. So just to go at it with an open mind and be prepared to just do whatever it takes to win, because that's what I do. If it's running, throwing, handing the ball off, I just want to win. That's all that matters to me. I could care less at the end of the day if I throw it 5 times or 30 times. I just want to win. And as long as everybody has the same mindset, same goal, and that's to get to a championship, then we're going to be all right. So that's just my message to everybody, is just be ready to work hard and go at it with an open mind.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is your new quarterback from the Milano Seamen, Zach Bronkhorst. Brother, hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was good chopping up, getting to know you a little bit, get to talk some ball. I'm going to be excited to see you. I'm excited to see how you play, especially when you get over there and stuff like that. People know where I stand and what team I'm rooting for. So at least you could count on 2 weeks where I'll be rooting against you, my friend. So thank you for tuning in. Again, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, follow us on Spotify, share this with a friend, do it all the above, spread the love. Zach, you can follow him on Instagram. We'll plug his tag below. And then again, we'll get ready for ELF season 4 on the way. And again, Milano's new quarterback and new regime, looking forward. So, hey, Zach, brother, we're good talking to you, my man. We'll chop it up soon.